Hello, this is Eric from NetApp, and today we're going to be going over the following items. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're looking at here is System Manager 3.0. We can see our stored virtual machines on the left-hand side. We can also see them on the right-hand side with a little bit more detail about the protocols that we have running inside of those VMs. We're going to modify our VDI, stored virtual machine, and add the NFS protocol to that. So we're going to click Save and Close, choose OK, and now we need to check to see why that is yellow. We actually get a tooltip here that tells us that there are no NFS logical interfaces and that the NFS service has been created but is not running. So let's check our network interfaces, which we are navigating to now. And we can see that is the case. We have no NFS logical interfaces configured. Easy enough to fix. Click Create, choose Next. We're going to give it a name. So following the naming convention, we're using VDI_NFS01. This is a data interface. So next, we do not need the CIFS protocol, so we'll uncheck that. This is going to be NFS only traffic. We will now choose a home port. This is a physical port on the cluster that we can use to send this interface home, although it is a logical interface, so it can live anywhere on the hardware underneath it and move from port to port. We'll give it an IP address, choose the gateway from the drop-down, choose Next, Next again, and we're done. So now we'll go to the protocol section on the left-hand side. We'll check NFS and we'll enable it. No errors, and there we go. Everything's green, and we now have NFS running in that storage virtual machine. Now let's go ahead and see what a LUN provisioning looks like out of our SAN storage virtual machine. We're going to click Create LUN, launch the LUN wizard, choose Next, give it a nice descriptive name. In this case, it's going to a server named DC, where will be the D drive. So DC ddrive.lun. It is an 0802 or later, 1 gig, then provisioned, and next. We're going to choose where to put this LUN. In this case, the capacity tier looks good. And we'll give the volume that's going to hold the LUN a descriptive name as well, and the name of the server should suffice. Now we need to map it to a host. This is the first LUN in the system, so we do not have any initiator group, so we'll create one. So again, we'll use the name of the server, DC. We will choose a port set. This is just a way to mask which nodes can see this particular LUN. In this case, that's every node we have. And now we're going to add the initiator for this particular host. We'll pop out to our Microsoft iSCSI interface here, capture the IQN, do a copy and paste back into our initiator group so we know we have it correct, and finished. Now we'll go ahead and map that particular initiator to the host. We can put in an ID here, but we'll just let it pick the next one for us. Next again, and we're almost done. Done. So now we've created a LUN and mapped it to a host. Now let's see what options we have on that particular LUN we just created. So there it is. You see it sitting there. There's some information about it. And we've got more info at the bottom. So there's space allocation, how much is used. Snapshot copies, we have none. Storage efficiency, again, this tab is empty. There's nothing there. And remote data protection, and we are not mirroring this LUN anywhere. So let's take a look at how easy it is to set this up. We'll start by configuring some local data protection. So we'll choose Configure under our snapshots. We'll enable them. We'll assign a policy, in this case our server policy. So here we're going to keep 3 days worth of hourlies, 2 weeks of dailies, and 3 months of weeklies. So now that LUN is protected. Now we also are going to set up some storage efficiency because we don't want to store any duplicate data. So we'll just check enable efficiency. We could also do compression, both post-process and inline, but we'll just do dedupe for now. We'll choose a policy. We'll choose the server policy again. Save and close. And now we're deduping data that will reside in that LUN. Finally, let's mirror this. Let's get this data off-site somewhere and protect it. So I only have a single cluster, but if I had another one, I would see it here, and I could create a cluster peer relationship between them. I do have a peer relationship, though, with another storage virtual machine named DR. We'll keep the default name. Go ahead and choose the server mirroring policy that was created, and a mirroring schedule. Once a day should be fine for this particular data set. We'll choose create, and now it's going to go out, create the volume at the DR destination, set up the mirror, and initialize it. So now if we go through and look at these tabs on the bottom, we should have a little more detail. Space allocation looks the same. We do have some local data protection now. We also will see some storage efficiency, although there is no data yet, so there is nothing to report, but that will be visible there. And then finally, data protection. And we do see that we are in a healthy mirrored state. So in summary, we added NFS to a storage virtual machine, created a logical interface, and enabled NFS for a VDI environment due to changing business demands, built and mapped a LUN, assigned local backup policy to that LUN. We reduced our overall storage footprint through data reduction, and we successfully mirrored that data off-site for disaster recovery.